You should use a condom before you listen.
The American dream is dead.
John Lisle, L.A. Lloyd, and Drew Bennett, Beaver Kool-Aid.
Well, it's our post-Father's Day show. Did you guys survive?
Yeah.
All the fun and frivolity?
It was great. I actually went out twice. I went out Saturday and Sunday.
Away from the family? You just took off?
No. Actually went out with the family both times. Saturday, they took me to this place completely in the middle of nowhere in the hill country called Proof and Cooper.
Oh, I thought they took you to one of those little trailers that's way off of Interstate 35.
No. This is near Dripping Springs, and it's a fried chicken joint. I was thinking about you because I was telling them, I was like, man,
sure.
John would he probably wouldn't give this an A, but he'd rank it pretty high. It was pretty good.
I'm pretty strict when it comes to the bird.
That's what I said. I told him, I said, man, he wouldn't give it an A. And then Sunday
they say, well, screw him. I don't like him anyhow. He's fat.
Does he put honey on his chicken? I was like, no honey.
No, are you
honey.
kidding?
No honey.
Hey, John, you like Nashville hot chicken?
Yeah, somewhat, but that's not my native bird, you know?
Not your deal.
That's like saying, I like smoked salmon. Sure.
I've never had that. Is it good?
It's so good.
It's good.
I mean, fried chicken can get a little boring.
Yeah.
Nashville hot chicken, man, that shit is good.
Yeah, well, it all depends, Drew. You know, I look at it as like the all-naked place versus the topless joint.
Then I like going to the
I mean, if you're going to go all in, there it is, but it's hot chicken. It's not man, the way I like pan-fried chicken, like my grandmother made.
Right.
You making in a iron skillet?
Yeah, that's the way my grandmother made. She did all sorts of things. She was brining before I knew what brining was.
Yeah.
All I know is that she'd kill a turkey, but man, with that fried chicken, it was just unbelievable.
Right.
People don't brine anymore, do they?
You know, I do. But she used to, I mean, she'd soak crap in buttermilk or brine or whatever. And I never said, well, what is that? I didn't start brining until the 90s. And some guy at an HEB who knocked me off sent me something, and he says, yeah, soak those pork chops in salt water. And I looked at him like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding? I'm going to put this in water?
Salt water.
But
is that a good thing?
Now
is that a good idea?
In fact, I brine myself.
You know.
Is that a good idea?
I brine
to do
myself
salt water?
because, well, when you get older, you don't expel a lot. So it's kind of like, well, at least I taste salty.
I got to know, is it all right to do the saltwater brine, or is that stupid?
No, you do salt, or you do salt and sugar, and depends on what you're brining. But yeah, I mean, now I've lived in the land of brine for
Doesn't it take
20
planning?
years, so
I mean, you gotta.
But at first, I thought this is ridiculous, and then I remembered my grandmother Pearl. I thought, well, wait a minute, she was brining back then. You know, in my childhood, I just wasn't aware of what the hell that was. So anyhow,
we know it tasted good.
Thank you, Lloyd, for tantalizing me with fried chicken.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about calories, I always have this thing, and I say my breasts grow. And women hate to hear that. Maybe because they want theirs to grow. I don't know, but they go, "What does that mean?" And I said, "Well, I've got kind of pendulous breasts, and when you bring up anything that's fried or fatty or whatever, I feel my breasts get bigger." No one said, "I gotcha." They all just seem to hate it, but I still say that because that's the way I feel. Isn't that being honest, right?
Well, I have to admit, I ate the skin. I went all into it. I was like, if I'm going to eat fried chicken, I'm just going to, because I don't eat fried chicken that often, but I was like, I'm eating skin and all today. So it's Father's Day.
I was talking to my mom and just a couple of weeks ago and talking about how, we had a family of 5. Most chickens are cut into 8 pieces, unless you cut the breast, each breast half,
right?
In half. So you have breast quarters, which would make 10. But she used to do the rib cage and the back and keep the whole breast intact. So we had 10 pieces. So that was 5 into 10, which meant 2 pieces on your side.
Wow.
But that wasn't enough for me, so I learned how to eat the organ meat as well because I'd starve. You know?
Were you a
So
gizzard
I would eat
man?
the organ meat, and I only had to fight my dad for that, and not the other people. But as I mentioned to her the other day, if you had knocked those breast halves and the whole breast into quarters, then we could have had 12 pieces.
Yeah.
So that probably
What are
would
you
have meant
talking
better
about?
behavior in some area because you wanted another piece of chicken.
Did you do the gizzard?
Keep going. I did the gizzard, the heart, the liver, the neck.
Oh,
I still do chew up the cartilage, suck out the marrow out of the bones. Are you kidding?
no.
I didn't grow up in the kind of house where these kids have it now, where they just go over to the refrigerator. There's nothing in here.
Right.
No, in my case, there was nothing in there. Not that, unless you wanted to chug some ketchup. Now they go in there and they got all sorts they got little frozen things in their freezer. They got the crap in the refrigerator. They got chips and nuts and all this other. We didn't have that stuff.
Tell me
this.
this.
You get
Tell
hungry.
me this. Tell me this.
You'd eat because you were. It wasn't like, well, I guess I got to eat. You go, no, I'm starving, man.
If you fell in love with something that was clearly disgusting in the beginning, right? Like you're saying, well, I went and ate hearts and gizzards because we didn't have anything else in the refrigerator. I had to. That was what we had. So now you like it. Am I right? I mean, you'll go ahead and eat
I
it,
still
right?
eat organ meat, sure.
So tell me how you fell in love and how you ended up falling in love with something that you didn't like.
He
I
was
was
hungry.
I just said, and it wouldn't be refrigerated because nothing would last. You had 5 people, you had 1 chicken. So, and Jesus wasn't there to make sure I had an unlimited supply of chicken pieces. So you say, I'm hungry and let me try that. And my brothers wouldn't eat the organ meat. Same thing happened to me in beef liver. When I was in junior high school, had a day, maybe it was Friday, I don't know what it was, but it was a crappy day in the cafeteria. They had bad soup or whatever. You could tell that all the junk that they knew was going to go bad, they just threw it all in a big pot and made soup. But on the side, they would have these fried pieces of beef liver that looked like chicken fried steak. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in other than the chicken liver, we never had beef liver. And the first time I tasted that, I wanted to retch. But I developed a taste for it because it was sustenance. It was far better than whatever that catch-all soup they had.
Yeah.
So now I can, now if I go to Luby's, what do I get? Just in case any biographers are listening.
Liver and onions.
Liver and onions.
There it is. I knew it. Knew that.
Yeah.
But back to that
So
chicken,
you can
though.
do that. You can. It's just like my first radio station was a Christian station, and we played all this different. We played hymns, we played Southern gospel, Jesus rock, instrumentals, you name it. I don't care what it. I had favorites. It doesn't matter what it is. You can develop a taste for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time you drink some whiskey, you think people actually drink this.
You developed a taste for it because I understand the
so
necessity.
It's the same thing. It's just like in women.
There's got to be a point where you start to kind of fall in love. You find attributes about it that you like after the necessity
you fall in
part.
love with it, but you learn to tolerate, accept, and then maybe anticipate a little bit. Mm-hmm. As that
Trying to apply
fibrous
this.
tissue is pushed onto your tongue, and then your teeth descend and grind it and chew it and savor it.
That chicken ass, though, that asshole is right there sometimes. You got that chicken there, and sometimes Granny wouldn't cut that thing off, man. You'd have the whole chicken there in that chicken butthole, man. I just couldn't,
See, people don't think that those exist.
They do. Of course it exists.
And it's like, it's a chicken. I mean, it's got that part.
And it seems really large. Drew, have you ever seen a chicken butthole?
No.
You notice how Lloyd, once again, it's been a lot of different Beaver Kool-Aid episodes, but he's taking us back there.
Really,
Hey,
he
chickens
wants
have to
right
shit,
to the
man.
butthole.
Right. Exactly.
It's got this thing about buttholes.
Where did you guys go out and eat at? Did you go out and eat? Did you eat at home? Did you grill? Did you barbecue? What did you guys do?
I watched TV.
Yeah. You didn't go out and eat?
Which is unlike me. I don't watch television, but I sat and watched documentaries all day.
Right.
And everyone left me alone, and it was nice.
Did you go out and
I watched It's
but
a
I-
Wonderful Life because I'm really screwed up.
I got to spend some time with my kids, but otherwise I spent it mostly alone.
Daddy, here, we packed your pipe.
Well, the reason I ask is because I went to on Sunday. We went to this vineyard that's near the Salt Lick there, and they have an Italian restaurant there as well. So I went there like 6 years ago. We took a photo. I said, well, let's recreate the photo 6 years later with me and Taylor Navin. We did that. Seems like the chef was much better. The food was much better, but the service was kind of suck. So I gave a guy, I did go about 17%. Even that I thought was a little bit of a stretch because he wasn't that great of a waiter. And then this report comes out today talking about how great tippers we are in our generation, but the millennials are horrible tippers. In fact, 10% of them say they never, ever leave a tip ever. 10%. That's a big chunk.
When I see things like that, I just kind of dismiss it because it's so, I don't care if they poll people or whatever. To me, it's so anecdotal.
Well, this seems to be pretty legit
But
because it comes from creditcards.com.
On three 23-year-old women who had never worked in food service,
Right.
I would not expect a penny.
Yeah.
And that's nothing towards women. I've just noticed that when I'm out with women over my, 80 years of life, if they've never worked in food service, they are like awful tippers.
Yeah.
Because, they just don't work out the math. They're like,
Wait, are you saying that women are awful tippers?
Actually, they say that women tip better than men in this survey. Now, I'll tell you, this is 1,000 participants.
Yeah,
and, so it's a small sample. It's kind of like getting ratings in radio. You have a pretty small sample. So
and it's all fantasy,
Right.
But I'm glad that just shows how crappy men have become. Then young men,
yeah,
probably because they're too lazy to do the math, or it's the same thing. Here's a card. I'm out.
yeah.
I'm done. But, this whole thing, I used to have shows on tipping, and I realized I should never do a radio show on tipping because it never ends. I always say, why is it that food servers are tipped instead of just salaried?
Right. They do it like that in Europe.
It's the weirdest thing. There's no other business. You don't go in and the mechanic fixes your car, and then you know that he's getting like $2 an hour. And
Yeah.
you go, hey, man, here's $40.
It's true.
Well, wait a minute. Am I tipping on the total bill? Because if you get a $80 bottle of wine,
Right.
and most of the time you pour it, should you really tip $20 for that $80 bottle of wine?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not like you had to go and fetch the food. Can I get you something extra? Can I do this? But that's kind of back and forth. Sometimes if I've had a big wine bill, which is probably always, I will tip a certain amount for the wine I had and then combine that with a standard 20% or so tip on food.
Yeah.
And then I come up with my tip.
The other day I went to a real nice restaurant, and the bill was $130.
Okay.
And so I tipped $26.
Okay. Nice 20%.
Is that-
Yep, that's 20%.
Is that fair?
Well, tip
Tip off a tax, though.
That's it. See, a lot of people go like, man,
That's what it was.
Don't
Yeah,
tip off a
it's the
tax.
tip
You
on
have
the-
to
don't
eliminate
tip
the
off the
tax. And look
tax.
at
a
what
lot of
your
these
actual
waiters,
bill
man,
was.
they get pissed off if you don't. They look at like, oh man, this guy left me like a 12% tip because they think you should tip on
Yeah.
the tax.
Yeah.
But I'm with you,
should.
man.
You don't tip on tax.
You should.
That's just silly. But I mean, it's fine if people think that way because if I'm a server, I get more. I got you.
Right.
I don't really tip at Sonic. I don't tip at
The
Sonic.
whole Sonic thing is never right anyhow because you never know, do I tip or not? This is the only. That's why you look. I'm just going to go to the drive-through window, and
They don't
then
have
I'm going
them-
to.
they don't have one at a lot of them.
I feel Well, if they don't, then you don't know. It's like I have to go through you to get my food. Do I tip you or not? What do I tip you? 65 cents.
How about the to-go orders? I mean, what do you guys do when you get you pick up your food and you take it home? How much do you tip those guys?
No,
Zero? Nothing? I'll always drop $2 or $3.
Good for you, Lloyd. Good for you. I don't do it, but now I feel like, well, I don't have to because Lloyd's got my back.
Right. Well,
so that's good.
Well, I went up and got it, and got out of my car and you backed it up. And who cares? It's not like you went and brought me my tea.
I had to go and get it's the food.
You didn't bring me an extra napkin. You didn't come over and ask me if I needed anything else. You didn't refill my Coke. You didn't do any of that.
I don't know.
You bagged up my
You grabbed my bag
food.
and you ran my credit card and I was gone.
They're usually like my oldest daughter's age, and I'm just like, oh, well, she's back there working hard, couple extra bucks,
Well, maybe they're pooling tips, Lloyd.
Well,
so it's not really hers.
Well, she gets a little bit of it at least.
I mean, you gotta, there you are, Daddy Warbucks throwing things around. You remind me of Ivanka.
But I tell you what, I don't want to shit on servers because those guys, man, I mean, some of them work 10, 12 hours a day, running around slinging food for people.
Salaried. When you're in Europe,
it's crazy.
You see adult people doing these jobs.
That's right. That is true.
I tell you what gets me is the people that go and they have a $6 breakfast and there's a lot of coffee back and forth and that kind of thing. And then they tip $1.
Yeah.
Because they go, well, that's almost 20%. Are you kidding me? But that's what I mean. If it's under a certain price point, come on, man.
Well, Starbucks, man, they ask me every time I go to, hey, would you like to tip on that cup of coffee? Fuck no, I practically have already bought half the building anyway. So why the hell am I going to tip that?
I don't do barista tips.
You should never ask for a tip.
For those few times that I'm actually in there, I just get a black coffee.
The app says, would you like to tip? As soon as you get it, pay for it with your phone. It'll say, would you like to add a tip to that? I'm like, no, thank you.
No. Well, that's what happened when we never revisited this issue from episodes past when I flew Frontier Airlines.
Yeah.
Back in May, which, by the way, Drew, they advertised they had the newest fleet. I didn't have any ashtrays in my armrest. It was a new
That's too bad.
plane. But they hand you a tablet to pay for your drink, and of course they gouge you on drinks.
Yeah,
like $7 or $8 for a little liquor bottle, and that doesn't include the mixer. But you can get packages where maybe you spend $20 and you get it's a happy hour. And you get 2 bottles and the mixer. I don't know, but anyhow. They hand you a tablet, and on the tablet, you're supposed to just, sign your name. But there's 3 tip boxes.
Yep.
15, 20, and 25%.
Yep, sure is.
And that kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Which one did you choose?
I actually tipped on both my flights.
Wow, look at you.
I actually did, because I just felt for these people because half the flight was them shilling for the Frontier Airlines credit card.
That's true.
They all do that.
And they got everybody's attention when I said, we have somebody really famous on board today. And everybody kind of quieted down. It's like, oh, who's on?
Yeah, who the fuck?
The celebrity was the Frontier Airlines credit card.
I started to say, what fucking celebrity's taking Frontier, man?
Yeah. I know, but the dude knew how to get people's attention. We have somebody famous with us.
I'd be like, don't you
Frontier
dare say
Airlines
who
credit
I am.
card. I always feel like if I'm getting bent over that badly anyhow, what's another couple of bucks?
Yeah.
But, I'm not saying I'll do that all the time. At first I was kind of shocked to see that there were tip boxes. Well, I appreciate it. You've got beverage service anyhow, and you had to hand that drink over to me, over 2 people.
I would have just been looking over my shoulder for Daniel Baldwin because I knew he's like the only celebrity I could think of that would take Frontier.
Fly Frontier. And he would have been up in my section, which was the stretch room. That's the first class. It's stretch room.
Oh, man.
Not about the tipping thing. Like I said, that can go on. And now you got me thinking about fried chicken, Lloyd.
Oh, boy.
And I didn't watch TV like Drew did for Father's Day, but I did have my young children with me, and then my oldest daughter and my grandson came by for a little while to bring me something. So that was nice. And the younger kids and I went to go see Isle of Dogs yesterday, which I would highly recommend to anyone. It gets slow in places, but it's cerebral and it's funny and well done. Anyhow, and that's my movie review, damn it.
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store every day because I live a mile away from the grocery store. So I just go every day. I mark it every day. And I get these, and I know you guys have gotten this too. It's what I call the cashier mediums, because I don't buy much since I go every day. It's not like these people have a full cart and you see them and you go, holy crap, was it like $500 worth?
Yeah.
It's like supermarket sweepstakes. So I buy very little. So the cashier mediums always look and try to predict what I'm having. They comment on my selection. Oh, wine, steak, that looks good tonight.
Yeah.
And then what are the depends come in?
You look like one of those guys that's going to get the baked potato.
Have you ever had these people that do that? The mediums, they have to comment on your stuff.
Yeah.
I can look at these different elements, disparate elements, but I'm putting it together. I'm feeling it. I'm seeing your future.
The one that I hate is when they go like, oh, how old is your baby? I was like, I don't have a baby. Why are you buying those baby wipes? I was like, well, I got to keep my ass nice and clean. It's like,
well, they deserve that when they get it back, but I just can't. How old's your baby? Baby? I don't have a baby.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the
baby wipes. I was like, well,
So you went back there again, didn't you, Lloyd?
I like that fresh feeling, man.
Did you notice that, Drew? He went right back there. He's brought this up on the podcast before.
Hey, John, she probably didn't ask any other questions that day.
Yeah, he probably volunteered. Probably wondering why I'm buying those baby wipes, right?
Never mind.
I don't have a baby.
Well, maybe they're like the start.
I got baby hemorrhoid. That's what I got.
Cashier mediums. That is beautiful.
But it's cashier, and they opened this furniture store here recently, and their slogan is "No shopper stalkers." Because you know how you go into it's like hitting the car lot.
Oh yes.
You're saying, look, I just want to be able to walk around. If I want to drive something, I'll find somebody and say, hey, can I take this out for a drive? Instead of somebody all over you.
Especially furniture
People
stores.
don't like that. That's the reason they go out and look at cars when the dealership is closed.
Yeah.
And then sometimes those dealerships still have a guy hanging out, even though they're closed. He's not all over you, but he's handing out a business card, because he wants to keep his job or make his quota. But it's that same kind of feeling where you go in a furniture store and you walk right in the front, and there are all these people congregated, and then they start to follow you.
I've been there.
So their
many
thing
times.
is no shopper stalkers.
Like that.
And mine should be, I would tell everybody if I was a manager with HEB up there, please do not be a cashier medium. Don't comment on people's food. I've had people ask me, I thought about those. Are those any good? I'm already embarrassed about getting some $20 frozen pizza.
They did a bit like that on SNL with the Target girl with what?
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig. Right. Thank you, Drew. She would, where did you get that? And she's like, all of a sudden the camera would go away, and she's running to the back of the store to get one for herself. So I get it, man.
I've never seen that, but
it's a funny bit.
Believe it with a lot of these people. Don't comment on my crap.
I was looking for a bed skirt. I know how that sounds, but I was in looking for a bed skirt, and I go up, and I was in Dillard's, right? And I go up to Dillard's into the bed department, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm by myself. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find a bed skirt. Where the fuck are they, right? And so I walk down one of the little aisles, and just kind of like a guy that just like appears out of the bushes. This millennial. He's like 6'8".
This millennial.
He's 6'8". He's got this cotton button down on. It's, black pleated pants and these Tom McCann fucking shoes.
Yeah.
And and he's got this long Luke Skywalker hair, right?
Wow.
And he just kind of appears. And I go, hey, how's it going? Hey, listen, I'm looking for a bed skirt. And he goes, oh, well, they're all around here.
Well, that was helpful.
And I'm like, fuck you, man. How much money do you make an hour? That kind of shit is all the time. All the time. You go out there with the kids and they don't understand customer service. I'm telling you, the whole country is failing on customer service.
I got to interject here, man. The problem is they're not being taught. You can't assume that someone's going to have skills that they've never been taught. They're not taught anything. You know, once again, I hate to harken back to the old days, but I was trained. I don't care what job I had.
Right.
I was trained, and I was somewhat tested and trained, and you'd get better, and you'd ask questions and you'd observe. But they just toss people out, and they don't train them. They don't teach them anything. It's $7.25 an hour, dude. I mean,
It's
there's
$15
a
an
warm
hour.
body, so they can say there's somebody there in case somebody decides that they find a bed skirt they like, and this person can finalize the transaction. They can ring it up and put it in a bag and say goodbye.
Did you ever find one?
They're not taught. So you can't assume that, because there are a lot of things that if they weren't taught, you learn by imitation because you were around it. And since that has gone away for so long, nobody has anything to mirror.
They don't have those training videos set to music. They don't have like rap training videos in the back that you have to watch.
I don't think so.
Training videos.
I don't think so.
Those are all useless. You gotta.
They don't send those kids through any kind of training.
You got to have the grizzled guy.
No one tells you on the first day. No one tells you on the first day, hey, if somebody asks where something is, you should tell them. I just don't get it, man. I don't.
That's all around you, man.
You're using your head.
Love is all around.
Did you find a bed skirt?
No, I went to like TJ.
No, because I said screw you, Dillards, and your bad customer service.
Fuck you,
I'm going
Chad.
to some other place so they can get my bed skirt business.
I'm going to Macy's.
That's right.
Fuck
yeah,
you,
then
Joshua.
You can't find anybody. Hello, is there anybody in this department whatsoever?
Learn where your shit is. Why are you even working in the bed department if you don't know where the fucking skirts are?
Right.
If I was into shoplifting these days, I could just go crazy.
Oh yeah.
He's too busy playing Fortnite on his phone.
There you go. That's it. Now they say that you didn't see that today, where they're trying to say that maybe excessive video game play is a mental disease, mental disorder.
No, it's not. It's not.
So if they can finally if they really can define this and get it into the manual, then you could.
Why is it video games and not also movies? Why haven't we been saying this about movies forever? Right? Hey, your kid's desensitized because he watched Die Hard when he was 6. You know what I'm saying? It's like why are we singling out video games
and nothing about movies?
Right? It's like nothing else. It's like, oh, okay, it's not the fact that you saw a guy's head get chopped off in a movie. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I'm not saying that it does. I'm just saying that if you're going to single out video games as violent, it's like, holy shit.
Well, I think it's so much more violence
the
nature of the violent video game. You don't have sequences where there's sex by the river. When they tumble out of the Jeep, there's no relief. It's the whole object of the game is to annihilate.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why. Though there's certainly cinema contributes, and you see that when you go to the movie theater and you see something pretty awful and you see the people have their kids in there and they get upset because the baby may be crying, or the little ones because it's loud and awful, and you see them, they kind of take them towards the exit, but not quite, because you don't leave because you want to see the movie. So you think, if you're doing this in public, what kind of stuff are you seeing at home? I guarantee you there are a lot of kids forget about just kind of figuring out stuff on their phone or online. There are a lot of kids that see porn all the time because their parents have it on.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They have it on.
Easier to get to with the internet. Yeah, I mean, you had to go get your dad's VHS cassette and shit when you were a kid. Now you don't.
Well, that would
magazines.
be you as a kid, not me. That would have been a stone tablet.
Yeah.
But, we were the ones that grabbed the JCPenney catalog.
Right. Go to the bra section.
You got it.
Oh, yeah. I did that too.
Yeah. It's like Pennies or Sears. Let's go.
Yeah.
Whatever you could get. But I guarantee it's the same thing. All these different images that contribute to stuff. I mean, way too much access. Way too much access for people who, once again, the male brain isn't fully formed until what, 25, 26 years old?
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're just then taking all this stuff. And the thing is, it's so freely available to you, especially if your parents don't censor anything and it's always on. No big deal. There it is.
Well, we're going to let our kid play video games, but he can only play Minecraft. I mean, he's not going to play Dead Rising or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Not yet,
they all have.
He's young.
Well, they all have ratings on him. I mean, we're not going to let him.
You say that now, you'll see. Screaming Ben Bennett.
I'm not going to let him play. I'm not letting Screaming Ben. No, he's not going to play Grand Theft Auto when he's 12. No way.
You say that now, you'll see. You'll see that. You'll break.
I'll play it. I'll play it when he's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but by that time it'll be like something you guys will do together. Cats in the cradle. You'll be begging him. Hey, Screaming.
We already do it. I mean, we play Minecraft together already. I mean, that's one of our things. He comes back into my little hole that I live in, and he plays Minecraft with me. That's how we spend our time.
Do you recall when you first started talking about HQ on Beaver Kool-Aid? How long ago was that? That was one of our first episodes when we came back, I believe.
This is like back in December, right?
Right. So Ava she's hooked on HQ, man. I mean, it's like if we're riding in the car, she's like, turn the music off. HQ's coming on. There's 1.5 million people playing for I think it was like 25 grand. So it seems to me the prize money has got way bigger. Was it that big when you first started, or is this just really just blowing up now?
No. When I first started way back, like in October or whatever, when I was playing, it was they were like $1,000 days.
Right.
Then they went up to like $3,000, $5,000.
Yeah.
And then they would have, kind of big nights. I think on New Year's Eve, maybe they did $1 million or something like that. Or
so where does the money come from? Since you don't have to pay to play, so where does the money come from? Is it advertisers because they have such a huge audience built in now, or where does the money come from?
Well, in the beginning, I can tell you that it all came from the money that they had in the bank from investors. I mean, that's how they did it. And the idea was we're going to build an audience and then we'll figure out how to monetize it with, like you say, branding and, and things like that. And I think they've done pretty well with those kinds of things. I mean, you see Scott Rogowski on things like American Idol and shit like that now.
Yeah. I mean, it's like huge.
New Year's Eve thing.
Yeah, but it's a 50-year annuity, Lloyd.
Yeah. It probably is right. So
you get $1 million. It's a freaking 20-year annuity.
Yeah. Well, maybe for Ava to be okay.
Eventually.
Yeah. But it's amazing because she is literally, I mean, she's like, okay. She's like, it's coming on in 5 minutes and does the countdown. I mean, she is really into it, and she hasn't, I don't know if she's got past 8 or 9 questions. What is it? Total of 12 you got to get through? I think she's gone up to like 9 or 10.
There's a couple of them. Yeah, there's HQ. You got to get up to 12 questions. There's also Cash Show. I play Cash Show because there's less people on it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
To that, Lloyd.
You should get into this, John. You're a smart guy.
And then you ought to take her to spend a bunch of money on some kind of summer camp.
It's a waste of time.
That's where she's going tomorrow.
Is she going to coding camp tomorrow? Now they have these coding camps.
She's going to Jesus camp.
And I'm thinking, how exciting would that be? I want to go to coding camp.
Oh, that sounds
like,
fun.
No, I want to go to a camp where I get away from you.
Right.
And get to do crazy, sinister stuff.
You, of all people, sound like you would want your kids to go to coding camp because, I mean, that's the people making money when they get out of school or they don't even go to school. These coders,
that would only be if they, Daddy, please. Only if they beg me to go to coding camp.
Yeah.
I try to tell people that. I mean, I've been parenting for so long. I let my kids be self-directed. If you're into it, it's fine, but I'm not going to force you into something or try to create some kind of passion in you for something that you don't really care about. Just because I think it's important? Absolutely not.
I'm not going to clip your wings.
Hang on, I'm writing that down. Is that with a K or a C? Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I've been doing this. I mean, it's just like, because that's the way it's going to end up anyhow. It's just like you can avoid trying to be the body type of your parents or your grandparents, but you know what? You're going to end up there. So you can do all the crap you want to do, but eventually it's going to happen anyhow.
Hope you enjoyed that chicken because it's all going to your breast just like your daddy.
Well, it would be like my daddy, or like my grandfather. My grandfather was a type with the belt rode right underneath the breast.
Yeah. Jack him up high.
I mean, those pants were up there, baby.
Sounds like a former boss of Drew and
you
mine.
want to scratch your navel, you unzip.
It's funny that you said that, Lloyd. And we're not going to mention it because you'll probably end up listening. But that's the first human being that came to my mind when he said that. It's funny. Yeah, I thought of the same guy. Like 20 years ago, we thought of the same guy.
Like, pull those pants down, baby. Just a tad.
Well, because it's something that gets imprinted and you never can lose it.
I never understood why they went up high, because to me, the guys with the guts, it looks like they can't get the pants over it. It's like, it's below the gut. So I guess you got to have that right body style to keep pulling it up higher and higher, because
no, it's called you got to have big ass pants.
Well,
you got to get them up there.
Yeah,
and then you belt them up.
Isn't it it's the pants, right? I mean, you got to have like a lot of area in the top part, right?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, pants used to be cut that way anyhow.
Yeah.
And so that's where the pants would ride higher than people have them now. But
this dude would pull them right up to his tits.
Yeah.
All the way up to the breast.
I mean,
baby.
but where's the junk? I mean, is it, fuck, I just can't even imagine where your shit's hanging at if you got your pants pulled all up that high. It's like.
It's in one of the legs.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's it, man. I mean,
it is.
You figured out.
Where else is it gonna go?
That's it. It's hanging in one of the legs.
Unless you're sporting a moose knuckle there in the middle.
Yeah, buddy. I've had a couple of those in my life.
Have you?
Wearing those tight jeans, man. It's like, good God. Oh yeah, I've had a couple of those. But I guess you could wear it on the left one day and the right the next. You could kind of switch it up a little bit, and I'm sure he did.
Depending on the season, of course.
Right.
You guys care about your health? I mean, that guy probably doesn't care about his health. You guys care about your health? I'm trying to, like I think I told you last week that I went back to the gym. I'm trying to, get healthier.
Did you see your buddy?
Say what?
Did you see your buddy? The sauna.
No, I didn't see him. No,
he wasn't back?
No, it's been empty. No, he didn't come back.
He probably heard the podcast and got all bummed out.
Well, he probably was catching my dirty looks too.
So what have you done this week? What have you done to work out? Are you trying new things? Are you running? Are you what are you doing?
No, I mean I haven't been working out in well over a year, and so I try to go back and get in, real easy. So I've been going in for 30-minute rides on the bike.
Yeah. And
then I go and sit in the sauna for 10 or 15 minutes and I go home. I'm not going to go in and fucking do a bunch of squats on my first day. And so I'm going in and kind of warming up and getting back into it like that, and really just making it a habit of just getting to the gym, right? And then later on, I'll incorporate other things. But right now, what I'm saying is that I have to lose weight. I mean, and I'm not a heavy guy. I mean, I'm under 200 pounds, but I carry all my weight in my center, right? And which is, from what I understand, medically, it's very bad for you, right? It's not like the guys that are all spread out.
Now, Drew. Thank you. Yeah.
So I gotta go. Well, there's guys that, you carry it in your hips and your thighs and your butt and your ankles and everything. I don't do that. I got skinny legs, skinny arms. I'm all skinny except for my belly when I have some weight on me. So I gotta get it off. And I want to be healthy enough where I've got maybe, I don't know, am I too ambitious for 25% body fat, 20% body fat in my 40s?
I got down to that.
Did you?
Yeah, I got down to like 23%.
I want to get to that, and I want to do it in the next year or two, just so I can say that before I get, fucking old and everything.
My cardiologist told me that I had to. I mean, he was like, no, get your ass in there and get under 25%. You got to do it. Just like fucking do it. And so then I slacked off, and I have to say this past Friday, after what we indulged in, I don't think we helped out our health any at all, because we fucking definitely knocked some back Friday night at the Indian Roller. That's for sure.
I had vodka.
Thank God. Yeah, I had Jameson and ginger ale. I'm sure I added a little bit to the gut that night.
That's not helping you out.
Not at all. No. So my glucose level's probably through the fucking roof now too. So, John, we making you happy with all this great talk?
Sorry, man. I arrhythmia. I've got to deal with this right now.
He's good.
Yeah, I'm hearing Mr. 40s over there talking about being healthy. Just move, dude. Move. That's all you got to do is move.
Yeah.
Move.
Sedentary.
Move.
I'm sedentary. Well, I get up and I don't have to go far for work. I work out of my house.
I don't care. You got a wife. I mean, you need to screw, walk, run, bike at the gym, whatever. Just move. Keep moving.
Do you mow your own lawn?
I mow my own lawn all the time, if you know what I'm saying, Lloyd. I don't.
That's not what I'm talking
about. My own fucking lawn.
Right. Because it you know what? It cuts down on the appearance of the lower gut.
Right. Yeah.
When you got that.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, man, you got that extra pooch down there, right?
Sometimes you Saturday night, and you're going to use the left one tonight.
If you're trying to make weight, whatever you can do.
Well, sometimes it helps to add a couple inches to old your little Charlie down there, you know. Sometimes it gets lost in the weeds. You got to trim it back a little bit. Yeah.
Everybody wants a little strange in their life. Go for the other hand, fellas.
But good luck to you, man. You know, it's like I said. Like you said it perfectly last week. You get stronger at the gym, you know, and you get skinny in the kitchen. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I decided that I wasn't going to go back to the gym to get thin. I'd like to get thin, but you're right. You have to change your diet. What I'm going back to the gym to do is to get my head straight.
Well, because you need to, and it helps to de-stress, and of course, you know, sure.
Detox.
But that's all movement. If you just move. You know, you say you work at home. Well, just drop down once in a while and do some push-ups. Put a bike at wherever you work. You know, and you can have.
It's hard to do. You say that. I mean, I've tried to do that. You know, get the little fucking door gym. You know, little pull-ups. You know, you get off the phone. Yeah, I'm gonna do 5 pull-ups.
Instead of a chair, have a Swiss ball. I mean, come on.
I don't do that though, man.
Have a Swiss ball.
I say I'm gonna, and then I don't.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good, doesn't it, Lloyd?
I go to the gym because once you get to the gym, you got to do it. You're at the gym. You know, when I'm at the office.
I don't know. I just think that gyms contribute to a negative training mentality.
I just don't like having to turn my office into a gym and then back into an office during the day. You know, I want to leave my office and just get out of here and go to the gym.
Yeah, when you work at home, man, even if you don't go to the gym, just to get the fuck out of the house. Because I worked at home for about a year, and I'm telling you, working at home, it may sound great and glamorous, because the last thing I wanted to do was, at the end of the day, was be here. So I would go out somewhere and just get fucking hammered because I just wanted to get out of the house.
Well, this is all severely anecdotal, okay?
Yes, I know.
You know, as one who doesn't work from home but is home a lot, there are things that you can do. Like I said, you can have movement. I wouldn't mind going to the gym and just hanging out and sucking on a smoothie and looking at people. That would be okay. But then otherwise, it's kind of like, I don't know.
John's going to turn into that 75-year-old dude in the sauna, butt-ass naked with his butt cheeks sitting there sweating, and that's going to be you, man.
I just don't have a dangling scrotum, though, Lloyd. I don't have that. I'm not cut out for that kind of work.
I do. I feel like I'm ready to be old and dangly.
So I can't. I don't have the sack. Mine still contracts when I'm scared.
What?
That's the way nature intended it to be.
I will go to your party and I will tear it up.
Really? Beaver Kool-Aid.
Get it hard.
With Lisle, L.A. Lloyd, and Drew.
Make it like a man.
So go ahead, stick your head up your ass.